Hi everyone, so welcome to another YouTube video. Today it will be a little bit different because I want to talk a bit about my journey as a hobby non-professional artist and why I started this YouTube channel. And while talking a little bit about that, I will also be doing a watercolor painting. So last week I did this monochromatic sketch of Hogwarts. So I found a reference on Unsplash and I tried to do it, and it was really with this funky perspective. It was really nice to draw, and I just put a movie and did this while I was watching this movie, and it was so nice to put all the little details and texture. And it's not super detailed, but it was really funny to do, and I like how it came out. So today I want to try something a little bit like this, so going directly with watercolors and doing no sketches. Maybe I will put different colors today, I don't know. I have another reference of Hogwarts because, I don't know, I'm really into Harry Potter vibes now. And I will be doing that while talking a little bit about my journey as a hobby non-professional artist. And I realized that doing these sketches with watercolors, I really like using flat brushes. And before doing this, I never knew when to use flat brushes or what to use flat brushes for. So I was really happy to understand that too. Okay, so how and why did I start watercolors? So basically, I started to do watercolors during the lockdown when I was in France. So it was like in April 2021. So it was not the first COVID wave. It was more the second one when we went back into lockdown. It was not a full lockdown, but for a very long time we had to do teleworking. So I was doing my PhD at the time, and I spent a lot of time at my parents' house. And I found a painting by number that I started when I was a child and that I never finished. And during this long teleworking time, I decided to try to finish this painting by numbers. And I really enjoyed it. And then my parents, when they went into a library someday, I think, and I was not with them, but they found a watercolor kind of journal that was doing some step-by-step watercolor illustration of flowers, and they gifted me with this. And there was this little crappy set of watercolors inside with this really cheap watercolor paints, and I think there was even no brush. And I just started and I really enjoyed. So I had no real watercolor paper or anything at home, so we used some old canvas paper that my dad had. I don't even know why he had that at home. I used the watercolor that were provided inside the set, and it was really hard to have a saturated color with that because it was just really poor quality. And then I kind of enjoyed still, even if it was kind of hard to do things with what was provided inside. I really enjoyed the process of doing watercolors, and I really enjoyed, I don't know, trying to paint and having something to do. And I realized also that I really liked to do it while I was having some meetings, for instance. So I had a meeting and I would just use my watercolor while listening to conferences or to webinars or stuff like that. And I had quite a lot to do because I was doing a PhD in social sciences, and I had a lot of webinars to attend and a lot of meetings where I was not participating but I had to listen, and it helped me concentrate, actually, like not thinking about doing something, not taking too much of my brain, but still helping me focus on the present moment and make sure that I was listening a little bit at what was happening around. So yeah, I did that, and it was in May, I think, we decided that if I wanted to continue doing some watercolors, I would need some real supply. So my father gifted me with some, trying to find the perspective here, I'm having a bit of trouble sometimes it's hard to speak and find those lines. For the details, it's okay, but because I'm really bad at perspective, so it can be hard to do the base. And yeah, I just wanted to add it that before going into this watercolor set, I had never done watercolor. Maybe when I was a child, you know, like doing this at school maybe, but I had no memory of it. And I had no training in art or whatsoever. And I never went to a school of art, or I never did some, I mean, I did some drawings by myself and stuff like that, but I really was not good at drawing, and I didn't consider myself as good in arts or whatsoever. I was bad, and I'm still quite bad at perspective. I still can't draw a human, and there are still a lot of stuff that I don't know how to do. So when I started watercolors, I really started from the scratch, and I didn't have any background in arts or anything before that, except art as a kid, where you have some colored pencil and some kid stuff and you try to do things. But apart from that, I had nothing more than that. And so yeah, in about May 2021 still, so 1 month later, we bought some first art supplies, so some better quality paper. So it's not like super fancy paper, but just at least watercolor paper, and some also watercolor painting. So we went for the Winsor & Newton Coatman, because I looked at some blogs and it was advised as some not too expensive and quite good quality watercolors. So we went for that. And we also trying to find out this shape here. Just a second. That goes there, that goes there. Okay. And some brushes also, because I had no brush, so I used some old brushes of when I was a child, and they were, I don't even know what I used them for before, but they were really, the hair of the brush were really going every direction. It was really hard to have to make anything with them, and also they didn't hold water very well, so yeah. So it's quite hard. And from there, I also bought some books, like to learn a little bit more watercolor, to learn some techniques and some step-by-step tutorials. So yeah, I try to learn more about watercolor thanks to different types of books. And so yeah, I really started watercolor like that. And like I said, it was something I've never done before, so I was learning by doing and trying to find out what I liked doing, what I could do, things I wanted to be better at, but I didn't know how to do when I started. So that was it, basically. And then perspective is really strange here. It's so complicated in Hogwarts because you have things going everywhere. There's so much towers, and the towers are going in every direction. It's so hard to really have everything looking right. Okay, so I just basically blocked out most of the shapes, I think. So now going back to my story. So yeah, for almost a year, I just did some watercolor and tried to progress a little bit with watercolors. And then I started to discover some YouTube channels that were so inspiring and showing so many different types of art and giving some awesome tutorials. And I started to feel a little bit more at ease in trying to do these tutorials, because first I was like, okay, this is way too high level. There is no way I can do these tutorials. But slowly by slowly, I could start to do these tutorials, and it was really nice. And I started to really binge watch a lot of YouTube channels. that I found so inspiring in trying to do art and giving ideas for creativity. And I don't know, just it was really nice to see all those awesome art on YouTube. And so basically it was in 2022 that I started to want to try other mediums, other type of art stuff. So I bought some colored pencil and alcohol-based markers, and I started to try to do stuff with these mediums, and I'm still struggling to try to do things with them because I don't really know how to use them. But I don't know, watching different YouTube artists just motivated me to try new things. In June of 2022, I also wanted to expand a little bit the way I was doing some watercolor, because basically I've been following tutorials and step-by-step things and slowly getting into trying to do my own watercolor paintings, not imagining stuff because I'm really bad at doing this, but just trying to use pictures or to find things I wanted to draw and try to draw them, which is already kind of hard when you don't have any base in how you're supposed to do painting. In June, I started to do some watercolor journaling. So I bought a small sketchbook and I tried to take it with me when I was going somewhere and just trying to draw from life. And it helped me a lot with working on perspective and working on colors and contrast and a lot of things. And actually it also gives you another way of looking at things. So I find it really enjoyable. It's really nice to do. So I tried that and I finished actually one watercolor journal this year, I think, end of last year, and I started a new one. And I always try to take it with me whenever I'm going somewhere, just trying to build this habit. And yeah, and I've tried to build habits of doing watercolor almost daily, and also trying to draw daily to do different things, but I will come back to that afterwards. And then in August, I did this watercolor sketchbook. So I did it myself with the watercolor paper that I've bought. It was a really big pad of watercolor. It was Henmul, I think, watercolor. And I did this following a YouTube tutorial, so it was really fun to do. And I use it to do a lot of watercolor sketches, to try new techniques. And I realized it's really good with other mediums too, so I use it for a lot of stuff now. Or when I want to do a final watercolor piece for someone in my family, I just do it first here to try to understand the colors and the perspective and stuff. So I really like it. And I also had as a gift from my family some watercolor, some water brushes. So I've tried to use that too to understand how it was different from watercolors, what you could do with them and stuff. So that's all the mediums I've tried. And in January of this year, I've tried digital art because when I finished my PhD, some friends gifted me with a digital tablet to do digital art. So I've started that and I'm still struggling a little bit, but following tutorials and trying to do it. So yeah, and I really enjoyed trying some new stuff. And very recently, last month actually, my parents gifted me with another sketchbook, a small one just really for sketching, and it helped me to build more of a habit of sketching, of just doodling and just copying some stuff and sketching whenever I have the opportunity to sketch. So I try to do it more often now, and it's really nice to do so. So yeah, basically that's my my journey as a non-professional, not artist, but as a hobby, as someone who likes to do some paintings and stuff. And I wanted to start this YouTube channel just to show that it's possible to do some really nice and enjoyable stuff even if you're not a professional. Because I see a lot of YouTube channels that are awesome, but sometimes they're a bit frightening because the final results are so beautiful and you're like, okay, I can never do that, so maybe I shouldn't try to do this type of medium, or I should wait until I know more what I'm doing. And I think it's just nice to relax and try to do things even if it doesn't turn out as you want to. The important part is just to enjoy and to discover new things, to do what you like to do, to find time to do it, and just to gift yourself with time to do it, because it's important to find that time in the day, I think. So yeah, basically that was why I wanted to start a YouTube channel. So yeah, that's my little story, and I really hope it gives you some motivation to maybe start again some stuff that you've been wanting to draw, or just to chill and doodle some stuff and not think about doing a beautiful final piece, because I find it so overwhelming to try to do some final pieces. And I only do it for my family basically, and it can sometimes hinder you from trying again or from enjoying, from having fun. But art is so nice, and it's so nice to discover new techniques, to learn how to do things. And I think it should just be about that, about what you enjoy doing, not about pressure. Okay, so I've been working a little on the blocking of the shapes, and now I will take a round brush, a small 2 round brush, and go more into the details. Okay, so I finished adding the first layer of details on the left side of the castle. I will go back to it next time, adding some more contrast. So as you can see, I've added some details on the right side of the painting, and I've also added a little bit of sepia to make this kind of shift of colors, and I found it a little too dull, so I used the same color that I've used for the first drawing that I've done, watercolor painting that I've done, and I used a little bit of this purple to add just a splash of colors. And now I'll finish it up by adding some clouds in the sky, or just some touches of colors in the sky, and that will be the end of this. And I just want to use this opportunity to say a little bit more about, not to say a little bit more, but to add something on what I said before on why I wanted to start making some YouTube videos. It's also because it makes me think differently about my art and about this practice I do, because I'm not professional, so it's hard to find time to do it. And to have this purpose of making videos, it pushes me to find time to do it. It pushes me to find time to learn new skills. It pushes me to find ideas of creative videos that could be fun to do. So it's also a way of finding purpose in the art, which can be hard to do if you don't have an outcome of your art. So I don't want to become professional with my art, but just doing videos is also a way to continue to push myself and to remind me that, hey, I want to do videos every week or so. So I have to find new ideas, I have to find time, I have to do projects, and I want to give me time to do that. So that was the last reason why I why I do some YouTube videos. It's also nice to have kind of a recording of what you're doing and how you progressed with your art. Sketchbooks are pretty nice for that, but videos are also a fun way to see the process and see how your process changed. So yeah, basically that is the idea, and I hope you enjoyed this video, which is a little bit different. Here is my final painting. It was really nice to paint, and it's really soothing just to go into these little details and add some splash of colors and just find the shapes. So yeah, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed, and see you in my next video. Bye!